give them full rate. And so definitely can't wait to see where your retreat goes in the future and how big this gets. And however we can help here with the Hard Podcast, we'll definitely love to do that. So Dave, what are some final thoughts and ultimately, where can people start following you, reaching out, and getting more information on the retreats and just more about you?
Yeah, man. If you want to just follow me personally, it's kind of like half personal, half business. My Instagram is DavidZBJJ. It used to be like D Swoboda, like first initial last name, and then I was at the Origin Jiu Jitsu camp, like Jocko Willink's camp, and I was trying to like market my PT shit, and I was like, no one will be able to find this, so I made it easier. David Z BJJ. But yeah, and then Becoming Om is kind of the name of like our company that all of this stuff falls under. That was my wife's yoga stuff before we got together, and now it's just taken over by jiu-jitsu retreats. But you can find info on the microdosing program for civilians and veterans on becomingom.com. Find info on our ayahuasca retreats down in Peru, and find info on the Operation Flow State jiu-jitsu retreat there as well. Yeah, man, we've got our next event is in October of this year. So like a month from now, actually, we're going to have our first Operation Flow State. So our first retreat exclusively for vets and first responders. If you can't make it to that, I know it's like pretty last minute. We've got like an email list that you can sign up for and get notified of like all the future events, because these retreats are intentionally kept very small. It's like 18 people, absolute maximum. So they're going to start selling out very quickly as more and more people hear about it. So if you're on that email list, like you'll get first dibs before it even goes live to the public. So we just released the dates for another 2 weeks of camp for civilians again in May of 2024. And that's kind of currently in this like pre-sale phase, right? So like not everyone can even sign up for it yet. It's just people who are on that list and who came to the last one and told me they're interested. So if that's something that you want to be a part of, like get on the email list. And I don't just say that because like I want to build my fucking email list, but because there's 18 spots and they're going to sell out. So you want to be there, get on the email list.
Love it.
We do have, it's funny what you said before with the veteran prices and stuff. I just did up the prices considerably for the civilian camp next year. The veteran retreats kind of have a veteran discount baked into it, but that also is going to increase because I want to be able to donate some money to some organizations like Heroic Hearts Project or other organizations like that in order to kind of promote access to these things. And then one other piece on that, actually, this is really interesting, is I've got a guy right now who's trying to come to this camp in October. He's a Canadian dude. And there's apparently some Canadian Veterans Affairs program where they will reimburse you, or they'll like cover the cost of like healing modalities of your choosing, essentially.
Yes.
And so he's going through the paper. Yeah. So he's going through the paperwork right now to get the Canadian government to pay for that. And so I was like, you are going in the most expensive room, sir, if the fucking Canadian government is paying for it. You're getting the penthouse, which costs more. For real, dude. It is the Canadian government paying for it, man. You don't need a shared room. Fuck that. So if that pans out, bro, like that solves my fucking financial woes, because I'll just start doing like Canadian only groups and fuck yeah, jacking that price up if the government's paying for it.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we'll have a conversation at the end when we stop recording here. There's a few other things that we'll dial you into and see if we can get a little bit more traction for you. So
cool.
For sure, the programs exist. It's just finding out where and who to contact. And yeah, that'd be great, man. And you know, at the end of the day, man, stories like Toby's and other stories from other friends I have, so they're all anecdotal. It's all pointing in the direction that this is a major breakthrough when it comes to healing. And at the end of the day, that's the business that the VA and Veterans Affairs here in Canada are in.
Supposed to be in.
Big caveat. Supposed to be. When they're not recommending that you off yourself, they're in the business of trying to get you better. So I've had a good experience from day one, and most do. It's just the bad apples, like any organization, rear their ugly heads and tarnish the whole thing. So with that being said, Dave, I really appreciate you sharing everything about your background and what you're doing for veterans with your jiu-jitsu and microdosing retreat. I think it's a really novel concept, and at some point, there's so many retreats and awesome things I want to do. It comes down to is the government going to pony up, and where do I scrape together the cash to do everything? It's just a matter of time before I do them all. So really appreciate your insights and what you're doing, man, and continued success. And I'd love to have an update from you in the future as to what's going on and what's coming up with the program. So continued success,
right on, man. Awesome, dude. Thank you so much.
Cool. So, folks, thanks for tuning in again. Don't forget, train hard, fight easy. See you on the next one. Peace. I hate t-shirts that get floppy in the arms after 10 washes. So that's why I created a bunch of t-shirts with high quality cotton just for you so that you can go to the gym and look fresh, sport some philosophy, and smash those PRs looking good. So you need to head to davemorrow.net/merch, grab yourself a hat, grab yourself a t-shirt, grab yourself a sweater, and support the cause today.